Sorry, babe. Thursday has the nature center and
What did I make you stay up late last night?
we tried to bring your money in.
I should let you know I was driving home before I was gonna do it. It's a lot easier and quicker on my computer.
You're up late and hadn't eaten yet.
You're good. I should have laid. I'm like, I don't feel like sitting down here. I'm gonna drive home, do it on my computer, right? Like big screen or
Stand that.
And then I'm like, oh, now I feel bad.
On your camera and phone. The only reason I did this, Susie sent me a text. She was like, "Hey, are we doing to do the other posts?" I was like, "Yeah."
You blamed it on me, didn't you? Trumpy hasn't got me the photos yet.
No.
He's goofing off. He's probably sitting down at the brew pub before he drives home.
He's 30 years in, probably.
That's right. So, where's the train? Somewhere else, I guess.
Yeah. Have you gone to the White House Nature Center? It's in like the back part, like close to the student farm. If you think back then,
Yeah.
it's like that tall grass and go about here depending on the season. So then it goes to the garden for a feeders on top of it. I think that's
sales recently.
Yeah, right.
I photographed her back there.
The only time. Change the feeder.
No, let's go. And they decided we weren't all going to push it back in there to do this.
Hi, Allie. Wait, what time? I want to. I went to like one shop and it was like cold outside. It was like we were just like there and I was like, I'm leaving. The weather's nice now. So not much football, but I was gonna be there like cheering when everybody's yeah. Not bad. Yeah. I'm like, why did I do this to myself until oh well. We're gonna try our best. And then yeah. Maybe. Yeah, I did. Part of the reason. Yeah. Oh, you did that.
This is great. That was the lady like my sister. She's now married.
So do you know that Joel McCabe guy? So I think he is a big deal, or
at Edging.
Okay.
Let's go over here and get a couple.
Oh, was he talking to Cliff?
Yeah.
I saw somebody over there. Yeah.
So I want to talk to him.
Cool.
I got to start thinking about I'm starting out. I just realized I'm up for another sabbatical, like where I actually have to put in a green thing in the spring.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Think it's planned.
Yes, good idea. I was just talking to Roland. He put in his plan. Trying to do
Right.
a
He's
year.
got kind of a set plan, so that's
Right.
good. He's got a set plan.
Right. But he's trying. Yeah, like he wants to do a year.
That's the hard part. Yeah. You got to figure out what to take. Right. So I was able to do that last time, but I have like zero. I've got one little idea, but I haven't really pursued it. I think I said it to you. There's this Michigan Health Information Network.
Yeah.
They've got an office in Lansing. They do like health informatics.
That's cool.
I usually figure it's a reasonably good offer. Saying, I kind of know some computer stuff, and I'll work for free for 6 months.
I mean, like when I
And have a connection to all these undergrads.
I first saw that when I was at Bowling Green, the lab I worked with in Bowling Green, when I was like undergrad researcher, we had a guy from Ohio and Oregon who was coming this summer.
Right.
And he's a professor there. He was probably like our age, like at that point in his career, like, and like that for his summers or for his sabbaticals, he came to that lab and do his work. Yeah. I mean, it's only a half hour away or something like that. Yeah. It seemed like, yeah.
My problem is I don't want to work.
Well, I don't think that. He wasn't like, but it's very much like you're working for free, right? So like, so if you get like got a couple 15, 20 hours in a week, like it's more than zero, right? So why not? Why not? Good amount.
Take her out in public. It's like a year and a half.
I remember seeing it on Zoom in the background of one of the.
She's like one of these dogs that's like, she's just very attentive. She's like, what's going on? What's up? I think she would be like a really good agility dog. You know how they
Oh, yeah. They look at you there. She runs all over the house. Jumps all over the place. How you doing? Good, how are you?
How are you guys doing?
Seems like that summer away though, got a little chilly. I know. Y'all got coats on, huh?
Yeah.
I just got this available. I saw that. I was there this weekend. I was like, I like that.
Yeah. You don't have to if you don't want to. Yeah, okay.
Gonna rock more bells.
Where are you sitting? Want to just sit over here? Yeah. You're spacing us in a way.
Colors are spectacular as they are today. With a little bit of chill in the air, just to let you know that you're alive. It's a great day to be at Albion College Homecoming 2022 and to spend some time dedicated to remembering two important people, not only to the Nature Center, but to Albion College as well. Dr. Dale Kennedy, Dr. Doug White. I was remarking to my dad, and some of you may know this and some of you may not know this, but my dad and I are kind of, we're super simple. There's no offense or buts about it. There's talking to dad, and I was talking about the trail dedication ceremony, and I'm like, Dad, Doug and Dale have Wren boxes that have been at the Nature Center than I have. What do you say about two people that have dedicated so much time, so much energy into a place that you're basically brand new to? And these said, well, Jason, here's the answer to your question. You let their friends talk about it. So I am going to take my father's advice, as I often do, and I am going to have the friends and colleagues and students of Doug and Dale talk about their experience, share some memories, and then have an opportunity at the end for us to partake in some fellowship. We have, we do have a marker. It is purple, because the ribbon is color. If you would like to immortalize some thoughts on either of, well, let's make this on this foam board poster. That would be awesome. Run out of room. So without hesitation, I am going to introduce a professor who was brand spanking new back when I was here back in the 80s, Dr. Nancy. Thank you. I just love a trail dedication with a live band. You're like grooving up here today. But anyway, I'm so happy for my friends and colleagues, Dale Kennedy and Doug White, and this occasion dedicating what is essentially their stomping ground out at the Nature Center as the Dale Kennedy and Douglas White Memorial Wren Trail. Is that the name? Oh no, that comes later. Dale Kennedy and Doug White Wren Trail. It is truly their stomping ground. They've had extensive research program going on there since they came. So Dale and Doug came in 1994, and Dale was taking over the tenure track slot in vertebrate zoology that Dean Dillery had. And Doug came like, I guess I'm coming to Albion. Doug came to Albion and very quickly was integrated into the heart and soul of the biology department as an instructor, professor in our labs and our lectures. So I've worked with them a lot. They've taught courses in the introductory series. When they first came, they were instrumental in revising our introductory series to become ecology, evolution, and biodiversity, that first course. And they were the heart and soul of that. And that was a nice process that brought us all together as a department to rethink our curriculum. But anyway, they are experts on cavity nesting birds. And it didn't take them long. They came in 94, in 1995, they started putting those wren boxes out there. So the house wrens nest in these cavities, and they had, I guess, finally a total of 160 wren boxes that were set up, and they would follow them just like a tracker would follow the traps and take samples. They'd get into those wren boxes and they could look and see at the status of the nest, how many eggs, how many little baby nestlings there were, whether or not there had been fledglings, so on and so forth. And that was a big part of their studies, and of course they had many students involved. There were 40 or so, I guess, students that were involved, and I know for a fact that 4 of them are like PhDs in ornithology or ecology now. People like Natalie Dubois and Megan Fitzpatrick and Ashley Ozeski, and Will Lewis is just now getting his PhD. And then master's students like Michelle L'Esperance, and then students Hart Davis in the biology department, we all know pretty well. Went on to work right out of Albion in sort of environmental fields very related to this work. And also, who was the guy, the really great birder who came here? Kyle Smith just graduated. Kyle's the new guy who's an expert birder. When he first came, he came back in to see Dale, and Doug said, I saw a pair of them talking today out on the sleeper at the chapel. And they're like, oh yeah, okay, that's nice. There's a peregrine falcon on top of the church. So anyway, they've had the opportunity to work with a lot of wonderful students, and I know that
I mean, this is their legacy. That will be a tangible thing that'll always be out there, but their living legacy is these students that they've gotten to work with. And I'm not mentioning the tons of them that became doctors and dentists and veterinarians as part of this work that they did with the students. Oh, what can I say about these guys? They're not above a few pranks with their students. So there were predators they had to deal with out of these nest boxes. One of the worst predators was a raccoon. And so raccoons, anybody from the DNR here? so Doug sort of had a bad raccoon relocation service for a while where he would trap these raccoons and take them off away. And then when he first started it, these darn raccoons would come back. So he figured out that he had to take them to a different watershed and let them go. So he had to reduce the number of raccoons there. There was just too much predation in those studies. But they also had a problem with flying squirrels. So flying squirrels are sort of the least known squirrels around here, but they are around. They're out and about. I've had 2 of them get in my house. And it's kind of hard. They're kind of hard to catch. But anyway, so Dale and Doug would have these flying squirrels that would get in the box, and they maybe kill the nestlings. And they just keep them in the box and say, okay, we're just going to exclude this box and leave it there. But when they had a brand new research student going out and learning how to monitor the boxes, they'd show them how they did it. They'd bring them up to the one that had the flying squirrel in it and say, now you do this box. And so the students would carefully take the little nails out of the side of the box, pull off the top, and Rocky would jump right up. I don't think you can technically classify that as hazing. It's not very apropos. But anyway, I have so many great memories of their humor, of Doug's humor. Doug has a humor that was not appreciated by your average Albion College first-year student. I remember when we were teaching tropical biology, and I've told this story before. We were in Belize on a field trip, and Bob Messer was with us, the math professor. The students loved Bob. They made him a Thurston Howell III kind of bamboo glass, put Dr. Bob on it and stuff. Well, he tried to really get into the jungle, you know, while I was down there. And we were out, and the guy who ran the station was taking us, one of the people who was a guide at the station was showing us the facilities, and he picked up a coconut off the ground, took a machete and went, quack, 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 and then gave it to a student, and the student started drinking that delicious, water out of the milk out of the coconut. And Bob Messer said, "Can I see that machete?" Oh, no. Got that machete. Bob, not known as the most coordinated person in the world, got that machete, started to pick up the coconut, reared his hand back, and Doug goes, "Base 9." Some of you got it. Maybe most of you did, but ask somebody. But Doug's humor, Doug's creativity in designing experiments, they were doing things, and Dale too, sorry Dale. but they noticed, and everybody noticed, that these wrens, I don't want to put human emotions on a wren, but some of them seem pretty mean. They would like go into a nest, throw out the eggs, destroy them, and take it over, And so they wanted to study this phenomenon, and they wanted to set up little nests with eggs in them. But you don't want to destroy your study by collecting eggs from the little nestlings that you were working with. And so Doug got the idea of using miniature marshmallows as proxies for eggs. And so they did the work that showed they treated these marshmallows like they treated eggs. And they studied that phenomenon. I think they got a nice paper out on that. That was kind of really cool. Everybody appreciated the cleverness of that work. So they've done a lot of work. A lot of people knew about males and singing and attracting mates and all that stuff. Dale and Doug had those students out there for the dawn chorus at 5 a.m. with their big parabolic microphones, that the NFL uses to catch coaches saying bad words. And they would record these birds, and the birds would sing, and they were taking these recordings back into the lab and using software to analyze were there any associated higher mating incidents that were happening with birds with certain song patterns, so on and so forth. So they did the work that had been done on males for a long time, but they did a lot of it for house wrens here at Albion. But an interesting thing that they started doing in the early 2000s was they used these little eye buttons, which were tiny little things that you could put into the bird box, and you could set them to record temperatures at different frequencies, time frequencies. And so they were finding out from these temperature recordings what the females were doing. So the females hadn't been studied at the same level. And especially this was cutting edge in 2004 or whenever you were doing this at first. And so they knew when the females were incubating, when they left the bird box, when they came back, you know, how many trips they were making, all these things, these data that were not previously well known. Recently, I tracked Dale and asked her, what did you learn? What was the best thing that you learned out of your 26 seasons of studying these birds at the White House Nature Center? And she had to think about it for just a little while, but she said, you know, although the house wren is the most widespread bird in the New World, occurring from northern Canada down to Patagonia, we still don't know that much about it. There's still plenty to learn. And so that was her big take-home from the work that they've been doing. And I am just so happy and pleased today to congratulate my friends, my colleagues, on the naming of their stomping ground as the Dale Kennedy, let me get this right, and Doug White Wren. I hope you join me in congratulating. Our next speaker, super community volunteer extraordinaire, Tom Hunsdorf.
Thank you very much, Dan. It's really an honor to be here representing people from the community who have gotten to know Dale and Doug and their work. I arrived in Albion in 1997. My former spouse and I moved to Albion from Boston. In tow with us was our 11-year-old daughter, Tinsley. And Tinsley had spent most of her life in the big city, but was getting interested in nature. We wanted to know, well, how could we begin to introduce her to the natural world? And lo and behold, learned that there was this female biologist who was working with wrens. So Dale graciously offered to let our 11-year-old follow her around for a week in the summer, dance on bird legs, records of things. It was really a neat experience for her. A few years later, she was a high school student. She came back and worked one summer almost full-time at the Nature Center. Really loved that. She came home one day and she said, the neatest thing happened today, that had fawn that we was orphaned, they observed it, no mother was coming around, and I used the camera floating around here somewhere. It's right here. And said, we're going to send it to the Wild Side Animal Rehab Center up in Eaton Rapids. So my daughter was in the passenger seat of the car, took it up there, and she said, the neatest thing that happened, the deer peed on me. I'm learning science now. But Dale was really very gracious to get this city kid introduced into science and what's going on in our wonderful nature center. And my daughter went on to work later for the Audubon Society, and today she's the communications manager for the New England Forestry Foundation. So her creations with nature really got started here in Albion, continues today with professional life. So grateful for that. I've gotten to know Doug partly just by looking into him on the trails. I think in the 24 years I've been here, I've probably walked 5 or 6 days a week in the Nature Center. I'm often passing West End on the bridge. And, I see Doug here and there, and
often after there's been a big storm, before the nature center staff can sometimes get out there, start moving the down trees to the trail. As they're doing it, very unassuming things just happen. If you ever have a question, he is very gracious about answering. To this day, I email him. I got a picture of this bird. I don't know what it is. Can you help me with the ID? Within a few hours, I usually get back to him. Here's the kind of bird it is. What you're seeing is a juvenile male. And sometimes he can tell me what it had for breakfast. Pretty sharp. Many community members have benefited both from Dale and Doug through a group that was originally the Albion Academy of Lifelong Learning, and it's now Albion Area Lifelong Learners. But for senior citizens in the area, people who are a lot older than me, it's an opportunity to take a course, usually taught by an Albion College professor, at very nominal cost. Both of them have done this, and Dale took a group of seniors from the area over to Lake Erie. It wasn't just, okay, a class here in town. I only learned recently that Doug taught a course on love. I did not learn if this was about love between friends, anything to do with Homo sapiens, and apparently this had to do with love among adults, and I think that's just cool that he has that additional interest. What I've seen over the years is all of the different kinds of people who go into the nature center. Sometimes you bump into one or both of them, and they're always pretty patient and gracious about, if you got a question about what's going on, they answer it. They are educating others all the time. And so my sense of it is that they have had and will continue to have for many years this wonderful impact on helping ordinary people learn about the natural world, about how natural systems work, about what is changing in a small place like the nature center or in a much larger environment. And I think that while we are honoring them with this very short stretch of time, we are really honoring them today for the much longer arc that their careers have taken and continue to take. And to be a wonderful sort of witness and model of how persisting over time with how it adds up and touches many, many lives. So I just feel really pleased that I can be part of this. And best wishes, and hope to see you out here many more years. Thank you, Tom. Next up is my new friend, Jess.
Good morning, everyone. Before I begin, I would like to acknowledge the member of the Dale and Doug White are amazing professors. They have taught British for many generations. Dale, like the speakers said, her work is not only in the classroom, but also outside the White House Nature Center. Her work has helped us understand like the British success and while I was doing first during this summer, people always come to me and be like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, invertebrates. And she gave me the company while I was there alone. So thank you so much. That's why I feel like you'll be the professor once I be in college that I'll remember as the person who spoke to the trees. Your passion and dedication for the environment inspire me to continue to be like that too, which is amazing. And I hope your work and people keep talking about you guys, even though you guys are not teaching out here. Doug White and Doug Kennedy, thank you so much for your dedication, inspiration, and work at Albion College. It's White House Yeah.
But I really just want to thank now, but in particular, I want to thank the directors of the Nature Center with whom we worked over many years, beginning with Tamara Fruppy, the director able to put up nest boxes back in what's area and some other areas. And every year we added more boxes, and so we were able to do that. But I knew that, hey Tamara, something's going on back here. There's a fire. There's, we could call and like tell her what was going on and stuff. Then Dave Green came in, and Dave now is in Ohio. He left Albion to go to South Carolina to a barrier island. And after a hurricane or two and COVID, now he's back in Ohio in the nature area. And he was the one who and built the Wren Trail. Before that, they go into the woods and wasn't part of that trail. So thank him for all his work at the Nature Center. And Jason's there. And hey Jason. Going on or whatever. So but appreciate having the opportunity to work there. And it's been a fantastic place for us. The other group that I have to thank, and thank very much for all the students that we've had. We have had at least 40 students work with us in the Nature Center. We've had 4 students work with us in the there. And so starting from Natalie Brown, who some of you know, gave the whatever talk a couple of years ago, the alumni talk at the Elkinizik competition, and up to most recently Kyle Smith, who is a super birder. He's actually now cross-country head coach at a college in Pennsylvania. So cool. And then in between, a lot of students that people would remember the Lucan twins, I should call them. And Soa, and Patrick, this kind of goes on and on. Quite a few SNCs that are now in professionals as physicians and as veterinarians. And we have some that saw the light and went into the college. Anyway, so thank you, and thanks to all my colleagues who have supported us over the years and helped us in many ways, and all the friends. I've also taught, as Tom said, a couple of AALL classes, so some people in the community have gone out there with us, and we also have, taken out a variety of younger people to show banding and things like that. So thank you.
One of the reasons we decided to come to Albion was because of the Nature Center, and it gave us an opportunity to walk out our door into an ordinary little piece of habitat and look at one of the most common, most studied birds, and with the help of the students, learn new and important things about them. And it was just an amazing experience and opportunity to show the power of understanding biology. It could do it right out your door in the Nature Center. And I want to echo Dale's thanks to Jason that have in White House and all the contributors that have established and maintained the Nature Center and allowed us this opportunity to have this forum for our work. And I should thank the Wrens so, for whatever, 26 years, between graduation, we would sit in our chairs at graduation and know that there were Wrens dropping eggs sat in the nature center, and then pretty much every day for the summer, sometimes running through to matriculation, we were studying the wrens out there. The wrens, as wonderful as they are, did not know about holidays and weekends. So we have a very intimate relationship and intense and long-standing relationship. The Wren Trail is appropriate, and the trail does run through the work of our study.
So thank you, because it's an honor. This dedication, we called it a couple months ago. So we appreciate it greatly, and thank you for coming. And over the years, we've done a lot of service, in different ways. A couple of students are here, some students are here, and a variety of people and some good events really recently. Thank you.
Well, I don't think any words can do justice to what has already been expressed. So I'm happy that I followed my dad's advice. We are on schedule. I'd like to thank Dad. There's something about blues and nature that seems to work well. Otherwise, if you wish, feel free to hang out first if you'd like to share some thoughts. And Dale, feel free to marker right in the Thank you so much for coming out.
Yeah.